Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the Mahindra XEV 9S. Now S is primarily for space because this is the 7-seat version essentially of what we had earlier as the XEV 9E. Now there are some shocking facts about this car and I want to go through those facts first because you'd be surprised to know that this car, despite offering you more space inside, two more seats, is actually less expensive than the XEV 9E by 2 lakh from the lowest variant all the way up to its highest variant. Now that's a bit of a shocker to me. I'll let you know all the prices in the end and I'll also compare this car, although the Harrier EV is a 5-seater, but I'll still compare the prices just to put things in perspective. But for this car to be a 7-seater and to be available at a lesser price than the XEV 9E is a bit of a shock to me. But this is a very important car because this is the first proper premium SUV with 7 seats in India, which is based on a born electric platform, and that by itself is a very important thing, and I really think that there would be a lot of takers for this car. Now in this video I'll primarily talk about the space, the practicality and the changes over the XEV 9E, and that car has been there, and the interior on this car, a lot of features are overlapped. So in favor of not making this video overly long and very informative, we'll keep it very focused. Now a few important things. You'd be surprised to know that the length of this car, the width of this car, even the wheelbase of this car is actually shorter than the XEV 9E. Now that comes as a surprise to me unless the specs are wrong, because I have read from the official brochure, but it comes as a shocker. However, the height of this car is a good 50 mm taller than the XEV 9E, and the space has been released somehow. You have an extra pair of seats. Let's quickly have a look at the design changes, and the face of this car has not been changed much, so let's not talk much about it. You have the familiar connected LED DRL, you have the projector headlamps, the fog lamps, you have a 360-degree camera. This comes with an ADAS module. The 360-degree camera also relays the information to let you know what's underneath. So it essentially is a 540-degree camera, and it also doubles up as a security camera, and it can have a look at whatever is happening. Now, in addition to the 527 liters of boot space that you have, you also get this massive 150 liters of frunk. And if I'll just lift this flap, you'd see that there is more space underneath. It can easily take an overnighter. Mahindra's big focus also has been on insulation and reduction of cabin noise, and you can see that effort right here. As you can see, a lot of insulation material and this rubber beading. Also, the great thing about the bonnet here is that it's supported by these struts, so you don't really have to hold it. Coming towards the side now, the ground clearance here is more 217 mm as opposed to XEV 9 is 207, and it's quite evident this car feels a little bit more lifted. Another big change in the silhouette is that the roof does not drop as dramatically as the XEV 9E. So the headspace has been liberated. It's not a coupe SUV. It is a proper SUV. It's shot with 235 section, 18-inch wheels. As you can see, these are aero wheels. This version that we have here is the 3 above variant. It is a top of the line variant. I'll talk about the prices and variants at the very end, but this one here, the variant that we're talking about, is the top of the line variant. You have these flush fitting door handles, a 360-degree camera unit on the ORVM, and you also have a massive panoramic sunroof on top. Now, if you look at the roof line, this is where this car would really remind you of the old line of Mahindra's SUVs, especially the XUV 700. And these haunches are very reminiscent of the XUV 700. Coming towards the rear also, if you look at these tail lamps, these are quite reminiscent of the XUV 700. And to be very honest, I think I like this car a lot better than the XEV 9E, which I think, to me personally, I don't know about you, but for me personally, it felt a little bit disproportionate. This one comes across as better proportion to me. What do you think of this car versus the XEV 9E? Do let me know in the comment section, because that's something that I would really want to know from you guys as well. So you have this entire tail lamp cluster here in LEDs, and this is what the design looks like. An important design detail that you would probably want to have a look at is this 4-rear diffuser along with these satin silver inserts, and of course you have this XEV 9S branding here. The rear unit of the 360-degree camera sits here, and the tailgate is not a powered type. Now this is the amount of space, which is not much by any measure, that you have with all 3 rows of seats up. So you probably can put a small overnighter here. maybe a couple of them, but that's about it. You cannot really be carrying a lot of luggage with you if you have all the seats occupied. Now, flip the seats down flat, and here you have 527 liters of boot space. Now this boot space of 527 liters is actually less than that of XEV90's 663 liters, but you get an additional pair of seats. The good thing is you get a space saver spare, and I like that fact. The toolkit and a little bit more space underneath. You have the swipe out blinkers and whatnot. Now I want you to give you a look of the car from all the angles. Have a look at the car and do let me know what you think about the design of this car. Do you like it, or you like the XEV9e better? Now, before doing anything else, what I want to do is jump into the third row of seats and let you know how good or bad they are, because that exactly is the very reason for this car to exist. Key is a very familiar unit. We have seen this key on the XEV9e as well, and it works as a remote as well. So lock, unlock, boot release, as well as air conditioning on before you get into the car. And you can also use the auto park function on this car. You can move this car fore and aft. Let's get inside. By the way, you also get NFC, so you can use a mobile as a key, and you also get an NFC card to get inside this car. Now, after I get into the third row, I'm going to jump right into the second row as well, where you get ventilated seats, by the way. However, let's first get into the third row. But before that, we need to see how easy or difficult is it to get into the third row. So this little lever here will tumble the seats down. Opening is nice and wide, so seems like it wouldn't be too difficult to get inside the car. I'll have my opinion, but you let me know watching me get inside as to how difficult or easy it was. First impressions, I wanted the seat to be higher, the bench should have been higher, the headroom could have been better. My very first impressions, well, this is not a proper seat for adults. However, the good thing is that both the seats, the 60-40 split middle row of seats, can be slid fore and aft, and this seat right now is at its furthest position. So I have the maximum amount of knee room right now, and you can have a look as to how much knee room or leg room I have. I can easily slide my feet around, but as you can see, my knees are pointing skywards and my head also is brushing with the roof. Also, one more important thing, you have a little lever at the back of the seat, and you can change the recline angle by pulling that lever, and this is by how much far back this seat will recline. The headrests are adjustable, and this seat right now has been reclined fully back, and myself being 5 feet 10, you can see my head is really brushing with the roof. So if you're up to 5 feet 8, you would be okay, but if you're a 6-footer, you'll have a major problem with the roof of this car, and God forbid if the car finds a bump at a high speed, your head is going to bump into the roof. So while that was the furthest position of the sliding seat, this is how far back it comes, and now as you can see, I hardly have any space at all. So depending on how cooperative your middle row passengers are, you can actually increase or decrease the knee room or leg room here. And these seats can be used by kids and for medium built adults also for short to medium journeys. These seats are usable. I'm not saying they're not usable, but they're not proper seats for long distance travel. Now let's also quickly talk about a few amenities that we have here. First, this quarter glass really helps a lot of light come in, so you don't feel as claustrophobic as you probably would in some other cars. You have this cup holder, you have this hook, you have your dedicated AC vents, a coat hook, a grab handle, and you also have this flow control for your AC on the right, and you also have a 12-volt power socket. Now what I also would have wanted to have here is maybe a couple of charging sockets, if not 2, maybe 1, so that's missing. Also, I have this speaker of the 16 speaker unit that this car has, which comes with Dolby Atmos system speaking right into me. So this speaker is right here next to my head. All in all, the third row is usable by kids and medium-sized adults for short to medium journeys, not a proper third row of seats which can be used for long journeys. Getting out wasn't so easy. I think getting in is easier than getting out. Now, people who are going to buy this car will buy this with the intention of, I think, primarily being chauffeur driven. And time now to get into the second row of seats and see how much space, comfort and amenities do we have there. Before we get in, you get these blinds. So that's a really nice touch. A really big bottle holder, and these window buttons are not one touch up and down. Now I'm getting in and this seat is slid in a very forward position. So let me slide it back. Now the front passenger seat can be moved electrically fore and aft, and the seat back angle can also be changed using these 4 buttons. Let me put it in a reasonable position first. Now as you can see, the bench height here, unlike the third row, is optimum. There is ample thigh support. The seat feels very comfortable. And not just are these seats sliding, you can also change the recline angle. So I must say that this is a very comfortable place to be in, and this big panoramic sunroof also helps the airiness of the cabin. You get proper 3 adjustable headrests. You have your reading light, grab handle, coat hook, a really wide armrest with twin cup holders which are somewhat adjustable, AC vents. You also get a wireless charger here. And the great thing about this second row of seats is that these Type-C USB sockets are 65-watt powered, so they are really quick charging. Another great thing is that you can have these slots installed with 2 12.3-inch screens for your personal infotainment. But here comes a really luxury feature, and both of these seats are ventilated. And as you can see, you have a button here, and the flow can be controlled at 3 levels, and that really adds to the functionality and luxury of this car in the Indian summer. I really think that this second row makes it very comfortable and very feature rich for a car this class. And even if you're not looking for ferrying 7 people around most of the time, as a 5-seater also, this car really is fantastic because this floor is flat, and even if you want to ferry 5, I think the third passenger in the second row would be comfortable for medium journeys, as this is quite a wide car. Now this upholstery is of a lighter color, might just get soiled very quickly, but I cannot really complain about the space I have for my feet, for my knees, the space that I have to put some stuff in. And just look at the headroom here. I think up to 6 feet there should not be any problem at all. So the second row space, comfort and features are quite commendable. Now another important thing that you probably would be interested in is the fit finish and the quality of materials and everything. And as you can see, the headliner quality here is pretty good. It's one of the better quality materials that I've seen on cars this class. And a lot of materials here also are soft to touch. This is hard plastic, but overall the fit finish and the level of opulence that you have for a car in this price range is really good. This is not a luxury car. This is, we can probably say, that is a car trying to be a premium car, and by that definition the quality of the materials on the upholstery, the soft touch materials, the tech and everything else is quite commendable. Let's also quickly sit in the driver's position and see all the features that we have there. Now a lot of stuff here up front is shared with the XEV90, so let me just quickly run through everything. The important thing that you need to note is that the top of the line variant comes with 7 airbags, while the lower variants come with 6 airbags, and there are a ton of features which vary as you pick one pack from another. And all the features that you have for all the 3 packs, rather 4, because you have pack 3, you have pack 1 above, 2 above, pack 3 and pack 3 above. So all the features that you have in all the variants can be seen on the screen right now. And now let's talk about what you have here on the top of the line variant. So you have this 6-way adjustable driver's seat. On the passenger side, you also have electric seats, but you don't have the memory function there. You have all the controls for the windows here. The driver's seat is one touch up and down. Ample space for a bottle. Soft to touch material here. Relatively soft to touch material here, but all of this is hard plastic. Glossy black inserts. These buttons again are very familiar. You have a dead pedal for comfort. Very comfortable driver's seat, which again is ventilated. So is the passenger seat. You have these 3 screens. Again, we have seen these earlier in the XEV90. No point talking about all the features again, but you have all the goodies that you have in the XEV90, including the 360-degree camera. You also have a transparent view which lets you know what's underneath the car. There's a fantastic sounding 16-speaker Harman Kardon system with Dolby Atmos. You have ambient lighting with a ton of colors and presets. This massive panoramic sunroof which is operational just by a touch of this button. This camera which can be used for taking selfies as well as It detects drowsiness, passenger side illuminated vanity mirror, auto dimming IRVM, sunglasses holder, these two reading lights, a fantastic color HUD which can be completely customized. You also get vehicle to load capabilities in this car, which allows it to have a camp mode. Also, this comes with a PAL mode, which allows the car to be ventilated while your pets are inside the car. Just look at the seat upholstery as well. It's very well contoured. It is very well bolstered, and you also have this nice insert that lends it a touch of premiumness. Now, in terms of physical buttons, you have this electronic parking button, auto hold, and this dial, and some buttons which let you navigate the screen very, very easily. Let's also quickly have a look at the 360-degree camera. So this is the front view, this is the rear view. You can also have a look at all the four wheels. This is the 3D view of the car in the transparent mode. So let's also demonstrate that to you since we are on the subject. As you can see, you can exactly see what's underneath the car. So it's the front camera relaying the information, and this is the transparent view, which Mahindra likes calling the 540-degree camera. You also have the auto park function. You can also have a top view at the rear. So it's basically one of the best cameras that you'll get out there, and Mahindra have done a fantastic job with it. In terms of storage spaces, you have these two levels where one is the wireless charger. You have these two Type-C sockets, some space to spare, two cup holders which are somewhat adjustables with these adjustable rubber studs. The drive selector is again a familiar unit, and each time you yank it, you can move through the drive modes. Now, talking of drive modes, this car also gets a bunch of drive modes. These are all the four modes that you have. So you can put it in the default mode, or you can put it in the range mode, which maximizes the range for your car. Then you can also put it in everyday mode, where the car just senses your driving style and the driving conditions and optimizes it. And you can also put it in the race mode, which optimizes performance over everything else. Now, in addition to all of those modes, you also have the snow mode, which is self-explanatory. If you're driving in slippery conditions or in snowy conditions, engage this mode. And you can come back to the street mode again by pressing this icon here. Now, talking again of performance, this car comes with as many as 3 battery packs. So you have 159 kilowatt hour battery pack. There is a new 70 kilowatt hour battery pack, and there is the 79 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is something that we have seen earlier as well. So in terms of power output, the 3 battery packs differ. You have 231 PS, you have 245 PS, and then you have 286 PS. However, the torque on all 3 battery packs is 380 Newton meters. The top of the line battery pack, which is this one, will take you from 0 to 100 in 7 seconds flat and has a top speed of 202 kilometers per hour. Now, in terms of range, the smallest battery pack will give you 521 kilometers of MIDC range, which would be lesser in the real world. The 70 kilowatt hour battery pack will give you 600 kilometers of range, and the biggest of them all, the 79 kilowatt hour battery pack, will give you 679 kilometers of range, which translates to about 500 kilometers in the real world. There's this big armrest which is sliding and has a lot of space underneath. This here is the glove box with this little tray. And of course, you have the passenger side infotainment screen as well, which you can connect your own audio system with and be engaged while the driver is driving. All the vehicle apps are very nicely lined up and they're tiled away. It also comes with a native navigation system. And of course, like I mentioned, it comes with ADAS level 2 features and has a full suite of driver assistant functions. The battery here also comes with a lifetime warranty. If I really had a gripe about this interior, well, I'm somewhat old school and I like some essential hard buttons. So you don't have hard buttons for your HVAC controls. So you have to press this button and then a menu shows up, and then after that you have to control everything like so. So the blower speed and the temperature and everything is something that you really have to control using the soft buttons. But overall, you really cannot crib about the kind of features that this car offers you for the kind of price. It really outdoes itself. And while it may not be an experience that you'll get in premium cars like say a Volvo or a BMW or a Mercedes, it does feel like a very tech-laden, a very feature-rich and reasonably well-appointed pace. Might I add, it's also very comfortable. From behind the steering wheel, it's quite a familiar feeling. Now, as I see, the wheelbase is a little bit different, but This suspension setup has been there on the XEV9e as well. So this car comes with a McPherson strut front suspension with I-Link and stabilizer bars, and at the rear you have a 5-link suspension. And the seat of the pants experience from behind the steering wheel is that of a car which is very composed, which has fantastic damping. Although it rides slightly on the firmer side, it's not the mushiest, the most comfiest of the rides that we have had. There is a little bit of spring in that. If you take it over bad surfaces, you do feel a bit of a bounce back. But apart from that, over rough surfaces, over small to moderate undulation, it rides really well. It's a comfortable car, it's not uncomfortable, but it has a slight edge of firmness about it. Now see the railway crossing here, and this surface is pretty bad. So over surfaces like these where you have big potholes or big speed breakers, you do feel a bit of a vertical movement, but as the car gathers speed, it becomes a lot more comfortable, a lot more composed, and overall it comes across as a car with a slight bit of firmness but not uncomfortable at any point in time. Now this car that we are driving is the pack 3 above variant with 79 kilowatt hour of battery. I've told you about the other packs as well, the battery packs. This one comes with 286 PS of power and 380 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 in 7 seconds. And if you put it in race mode, the acceleration is crazy quick. It feels really brisk for a car this big. And it comes with 4 standard modes, and you also get the snow mode. Now what I can tell you is that the steering changes its firmness, it's progressive, so as you change the modes it becomes a bit more firm, but there still is a bit of artificialness about it. It isn't completely engaging, although you can place the car very precisely on the road, but this car isn't something which is an enthusiast's delight. The suspension is also set slightly on the side of being a little bit more compliant. It's a big car, it's a heavy car, it's a tall car, and while it does go really quickly in a straight line, around the bends, it's not supposed to be going fast. So the B6 is a slightly better car in that department. And if being quick around the bends is something that you want to be doing, it can do that, but it's not exactly a car that is comfortable doing that. These buttons here, so you can increase or reduce the regen level. So you have level 0, 1, 2, 3. So the 0 is where you don't have any regen, and 3 is the maximum level. You can also put it in a single pedal mode where you don't really have to use the brake pedal in stop start traffic, and you have maximum regeneration. And you also have this button here which allows you to get into the boost mode, and it gives you additional torque so that you can go quicker. All in all, it's a car that feels like it's very well balanced for day-to-day use. It's not overly cushy, it's not overly stiff. The real world range with an MIDC rating of about 679 with this one would be about 450 to 500 kilometers. So if you use it like an electric car has to be used, you'd get up to 460, 470 kilometers of range on this one, which is not bad at all, because that's about the maximum you can drive if you are on a long drive. And by this time, you'll need to charge your car. So in terms of charging, if you go with the new Mahindra chargers, which provide up to 180 kilowatts of power, you'd be able to charge it from 20 to 60% in 20 minutes flat. The rest of the charging times can be seen on the screen right now. This comes with frequency dependent damping, and that really means that it does adapt to your surroundings very well. It also comes with the intelligent adaptive suspension for the pack 3 and pack 3 above variants, which means that it's constantly changing its damping based on your speed, your surroundings, the road conditions and driving behavior. All of that can be felt right now. The unfortunate part here is that today the drive is divided into batches, and every batch has been given only 2 hours, during which time we had to do our P2Cs for the interior, the exterior and the research. So I would not call this the definitive drive review of this car. I think I'll have this car delivered at my place again and take it for a more comprehensive drive, and I'll do a drive only review again to give you a very comprehensive understanding of how this feels like. But overall it feels like a very well balanced car which has a slight firmness to it up to certain speeds. As you pick up the speed, it settles down and becomes more comfortable. The ambient noise is fantastically cut though, and the cabin feels fantastically well insulated from the surroundings. Now the price of this car starts at 19.95 lakh rupees for pack 1, and the pack 3 above, which is this car here, will go all the way to 21.45 lakh rupees ex showroom. The 70 kilowatt hour pack 2 retails for 24.45 lakh rupees ex showroom. And if you look at those prices, I really think that this car offers tremendous value. A, because there is absolutely no other electric SUV with 7 seats at this point in time. So this really doesn't have any real competition. And B, Despite having more seats and a few more features, it's actually about 2 lakh rupees less expensive than the XEV 9e variant to variant. Also, if you compare it with its closest non-brand, as in not from Mahindra opponent, that's the Tata Harrier, the prices again are very competitive. So the Harrier starts at 21.49 lakh rupees, and if you talk about only the two-wheel drive variant, it goes up to 28.73 lakh rupees, which is slightly less expensive. But if you look at the QWD, which is all-wheel drive variant of that car, it is about a lakh more expensive. But this one has 2 seats more. So overall, a fantastic value proposition, and both B6 and XEV 9e have proven themselves over the past 1 year with the kind of acceptance that they had in the market, the real world range, and the positive reviews that they have received from the real world customers. So if you're looking for a 7-seat proper SUV to ferry your family around, which is powered by an electric powertrain, I really think that this is a fantastic option. And the icing on the cake for me is that this one actually looks a lot better than how the XEV 9e appears to my eyes. So a car which retails for less price and offers you more in terms of space, I really think it absolutely is a no-brainer if a 7-seat electric powered SUV is something that you're looking for in this market. I really hope that I was able to answer all your questions about this fantastic new offering from Mahindra. Still, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I'll try to answer them personally. And until next time, this is your friend Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.